Hi, welcome back to Renee Ruth Music. My name is Fred.
And I'm Renee.
Hey,
Hey,
so good to see you.
how you been?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I know you've had a big music week.
I did.
We had a thing, but you've had an
Yeah.
actual music week almost.
Yeah, I did. I had to play a public gig because a lot of my gigs that I've done in the past are private.
Oh yeah, you even moved into the private. Yeah.
You know, so
Explain public gig for people watching.
meaning, you know, at a restaurant, club, venue, wine festival, anything that's open to the public.
I got it.
But a lot of my gigs that I've been doing in the past has been private gigs, meaning they're weddings or corporate events or, you know, different stuff like that.
Got it.
So
where were you this week?
I was at a new restaurant called Fratelli's.
Fratelli's. It's like a little Italian restaurant-y thing downtown Lynchburg.
It looks really nice. If you have not been, you need to go and check it out.
Because it's below where the skyline is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I sat in with Lou Taylor. He was on the keys, and Bob Bowen was on bass, upright bass.
Nice.
It was a pretty nice gig.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should tag those people.
Yeah.
Good job on the gig. So actually, we were going to call this podcast "Less Is More."
Less is more.
And kind of explain how that works out with gigging.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who, you were a full-time gigging musician for years.
Yeah, I was.
Running what, 4 or 5 gigs a week?
A week, yeah. Sometimes doubling up, especially in the summertime too.
Like a day gig, night gig.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, now we're going, like I said, we're transitioning to less is more, and which means we want to play less, like we want to play out less, right?
That he's like, are we?
Right?
So the thing is, no, playing out. So I think at the time of your life and my life, because I was still working a full-time job and gigging, and I was probably pulling 4 gigs a week most weeks too. So like I'm working all day teaching, and then I would go off to a gig at night, wake up, teach, go off to gig. So I was in this like cycle of, you know, running both of those brackets. And then, but I think the less is more spins off of our last podcast. If they went back and watched it, you know, we were talking about the fact that like definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and thinking you're going to get to a different destination, you know, where we did the public gigs, we even did the private gigs, like we've done. And what I actually said so we played, we'll talk about this in a minute, but at our gig on Tuesday night, I think I actually said, you know, it was like running on a hamster wheel, you know, and just, it was that circle and nothing changed. There was no growth. There was no, it was just, and for us, we want more of for somebody who wants that, like just loves that public, you know, dinner, loungy vibe. Like there's instrumentalists or musicians that love that space. That's perfect. And it loves that it exists for them. But for us, like when we sat back and looked at it, we're like, we're running 100 miles an hour on a wheel. But if we take the time out from something we love, because we love to perform, I think that's it. Like you even said, you loved
I love playing.
Like it was so great to play with the talented guys like you did last night. You know, being in that space. But it doesn't free time. Like, look, we couldn't write. I wasn't writing music. I wasn't pushing the music. My original music. I wasn't doing anything to move myself forward. And then I even found like tell me about your gig at the restaurant, because I know when we used to play, it was like I'm pouring my soul out here, and it's like you hear glasses clinking, and which is what they came to do. Like you couldn't be mad about it, but it was just like, is anyone listening?
Yeah. Like maybe 3/4 of the people were there to really eat,
to have dinner, and
you know,
it just worked out that there
was
some great.
And then the remaining quarter were the ones who really came to see us.
Yeah,
you know?
Where did they set you up? Like, was it in View?
So right at the bar, and and then there's the entrance for outdoor seating.
Okay.
So it was at the end of the bar for us. That's where I was like right here playing drums, bass, and the keys. And then there's a door that led to the outside
Okay.
patio. So it was right there. And that was perfect because it wasn't like we was playing over top of anyone eating.
No,
It
you're at
wasn't-
the bar.
Yeah. No one was like trying to have like a private conversation. And if you're at the bar, you're drinking and having a good time, you're talking loud anyway.
And that was always the thing that like crushed Fred and I would be like, you guys are too loud. And we're like over here going,
right,
like,
yeah.
I'm like singing, I'm like, why can't?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want me to play it all? Actually, the last gig I did was a private event
Mhm.
for a group. And I was in this very loud space like this, hard surfaces. So obviously everything bounces.
Uh-huh.
And the audience was older. So I was texting Fred because I'm like, I'm so over this. Like, because they kept asking. I think I got asked to turn down like 7 times to where literally I told Fred, I'm like, I have shut off the sound.
Mhm.
Like, there's no way they can hear me, and they're telling me how great I am. Like, I've literally got the volume to nothing, and they're telling me how great I am, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I doing these gigs?
Right,
Like, why
right.
am I?
Yeah.
What? I don't love that enough. I don't love that enough.
Mhm.
I don't love it at all. And so then, okay, let's go. So contrast that with we've done these office gigs, and I call them like mini concerts because I
Mhm.
think when you think concert, you're thinking something totally different from gig.
Right. Correct.
Like a gig is like, you don't come expecting necessarily to be like,
Mhm.
let me listen, where a
Right.
concert, you're expecting,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Because
here to,
you paid money to get in.
yeah.
You
And you
know?
have a seat facing a stage,
Right,
and
right.
you're not talking like
Right. 100% of the people came there to listen.
to listen
You know.
and to soak it up. And if they say anything, it's very quiet, and if they're too loud, they're going to get told.
Exactly.
Right? Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
you're literally,
Mhm.
it's like when I did the symphony and I did a gig about, I mean, playing in that space was just the most, I can't wait to do something like that again. It was just so amazing to
Mhm.
see a room of faces looking at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a room of faces like,
Right.
like-
Right.
So we did our gig on Tuesday night before your restaurant
Mhm.
gig, and it was so cool because we just had like a few couches set, couch set out,
Yeah,
chairs set out, just
yeah.
this comfortable space. And it was this like little engaging, like I told friends, like we should call them listening sessions.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
where people come
Yeah.
knowing that they're like, it's by calling it see, that's the thing. Words are so powerful. By calling it a listening session, there's literally no confusion over what you are going to do when you come here.
Correct. And we had like one set of headphones,
Mhm.
and it was getting shared and passed around.
But it was so cool to watch them do that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it was so, and so just so you know, the headphones where we finally got gear to run. So it's kind of like this, where you're listening to us and it's clearer because
Mhm.
we've got gear that's running our audio.
Mhm.
It's even cleaner than this because it's not a wireless, it's hooked
Mhm.
right into our rig. So we were streaming it on Facebook, and attached to it were headphones so you could hear what they're hearing on Facebook.
Yeah.
Which was a wicked clean sound because
Mhm.
it was cleaner than the room because this room hit.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know,
my drums are bouncing off the
they're
walls.
but they were doing this because
You
even
won't
the
hear
sound in
the
here was
sound
still
difference.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both sounds were cool,
Mhm.
and it was so cool to watch them like enjoy the whole. It was
Mhm.
it was an experience.
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
for them and for us.
Yeah.
Like I'm singing, and it was just so like it was so cool to watch them soak into the music with us.
Mhm. Right.
Like
Yeah.
literally, because they had the freedom too. Like you're not in a theater where you can't move. They
Mhm.
had the freedom to kind of,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. One
move
was
it.
sitting on the floor.
ended up
You know?
sitting on the floor, and
You
like
know,
she
just-
just I'm
yeah,
like,
and
she's
that's-
like, you got to get beanbag chairs. I'm like, I'm not against that.
Yeah, no, actually
Like,
that
not
was a
against
great
that.
idea.
Let's
Like
throw some rugs
definitely.
on the wall.
I think I have one. Like my sons don't use it anymore, so
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
just gonna
bring it
I'm gonna bring
in.
one. Yeah.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
So if you're watching your local, we are planning on, and they will be last minute. It will be like, and it will be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
quick invite, come for a
Yep.
listening session.
And we had a good time. It was small, it was intimate, and you got to talk and share like a little bit of behind why you wrote that song and what it meant to you, and it was
But
good.
then also hear what it meant to them.
Yeah.
Like
And
literally.
how did they take it in?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like one of the songs, she's like, I just went to church.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
anyway, but to have as an artist, you rarely get that chance for the immediate feedback. Like you rarely get that chance in an audience with that kind of engagement, which is why I call it a listening session, because it's so intimate.
Yes.
But in such a really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
It could not have been a better gig.
Oh no, really. I enjoyed it.
I want to do that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I really want to do that again. So,
Right.
Fred, here's the thing. After all this conversation about the restaurant gigs and about, listening sessions and what you choose as an artist in the direction you want to go, what could you do to compare this with the idea that less is more? Like, give us a moral of the story here.
Sell your equipment, right? Follow me to get more equipment.
Less equipment gets you
More equipment.
That is the best moral ever. How we can get more gear in the office. I love this. What are we gonna sell, Fred?
Oh, I see some things.
I already know what I'm selling. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.